Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How are you?
I am really good. I'm good today.
That's awesome. What's the latest and the greatest?
Latest and the greatest. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, I had a socktastrophe this morning.
Ooh, those are the worst.
Oh my goodness. I don't even get it. I don't understand socks. I bought this new pack of socks from Costco. And there was 4 colors. And this morning I could only find one of each of those 4 colors.
Oh, that's the best way to do it, though. Mismatched socks? No, not a fan. That's where you draw the line on chaos. Mismatched socks. Okay, all right.
Well, I was very worried that they would show up in the podcast today. I had to have matched socks because we were recording our podcast.
That's really funny. I think I may have purposely unmatched my socks.
That would make my life a lot easier. I'm going to have to contemplate this.
Isn't it really weird, though? Because normally I'm like the very black and white and no fun at all, if we're to be honest. Then, yeah, I guess socks, mismatched socks, that's where it goes wild for me.
The problem is that they're the thicker ones. Mm-hmm. And so they are going to show bigger than normal socks. No,
I don't think so. All right. Well, anywho, moving on. Talk about the Women's Expo. Wasn't that the coolest thing?
Women's Expo was so great. So this was a couple weekends ago. We spent 3 wonderful days in Great Falls at the Women's Expo, and it was just a big conglomeration of all these different people, groups, businesses that came together and showcased their wares. And what we were trying to do was just introduce ourselves to the new community of new to us,
right?
Great Falls, and telling people how incredibly awesome Ipaga Home Care is and that they should join our family.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved having our Helena girls with us and our Missoula girls with us. And it was really neat because, like you said, there were so many different booths there with different things, whether somebody was selling something or it was an educational booth or whatever. But it was very inspiring for me. I just, lots and lots of ideas came. And actually, I would say the source of information for this podcast today came from one of the booths there, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But anyway, it was a great experience. So I'm happy that we went to Great Falls and went to the Women's Expo.
Yeah, we took our other Ipaga families with us. So it was a girls' weekend, and it was just awesome.
Got to go to the mermaid bar.
Yeah.
It was an accident, everyone. I swear it was an accident. We typed in steakhouse, and that's where we ended
looking
up.
for a steak, and we ended up with a mermaid.
And applications to be mermaids.
Yes.
So, you just never know what's going to happen.
Oh, it was a good time.
Yes.
Good time.
All right. Well, moving into the verse of the week, this one actually was submitted by Ed Van Scoten Sr., and this is a friend of yours, Julie,
yes.
a church friend.
Yes, he's actually a fellow deacon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yes, I know that I have heard you speak about him, and you always have such kind things to say. So Ed submitted to us John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world.
And I had actually asked him what the reasoning for that, why did that verse come to his mind when I asked him for one of his favorite verses. And he just said, at this time when our country is so divided and anxious about COVID and government mandates, and it just seems that this fits. We're going to be okay because actually God is in control. And it's always a good reminder that God has overcome the world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So fear not,
Yep.
because God has a plan.
Yep.
And he's put wonderful people like Ed in the world to help us be reminded of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how these verses over time, they all just connect on some level. It makes me think of, Grandma Jean's essentially give it to God.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you so much, Ed. And if any of our listeners out there would like to submit a verse to us, we ask you to please email those to thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's thecaregivenpodcast@gmail.com. Share your verses so that we can share them with the rest of the world.
Yes, indeed.
Uplifting stories. So we've changed our strategy a little bit. It was fun to have the same one, but we're trying to not do that because we want more and more and more good and fun stories in the world. So we know they're different today.
Yes.
Hit it.
Okay. So actually mine is just funny stuff. I have some one-liners.
Nice.
And just know these are the funniest one-liners ever.
Okay. Everybody laugh. No matter what.
Ready?
Just laugh.
Yes. How do you prevent a summer cold?
I do not know.
Catch it in the winter.
Good one.
Okay. Here's another one. Did you hear about the new restaurant named Karma?
I did not.
You get what you deserve.
Oh, I don't know where Alyssa is. She's making some cringy faces. Keep them coming, though.
Okay, I got a
like
couple
dad
more
jokes.
Yes, I recently decided to sell my vacuum cleaner, as all it was doing was gathering dust.
Julie.
Don't
Alyssa's trying not to laugh.
I know. She's, yeah. Don't you hate it when someone answers their own questions? I do. And then last but not least, because I could go all day long. As I watched the dog chasing his tail, I thought, dogs are easily amused. Then I realized I was watching the dog chase his tail.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
my hammer for the day.
Nice. I love it. Well, mine, it's so fitting and it just landed perfectly. And I'll be honest. So I've alluded in previous episodes, I think, that I'm generally pretty happy with what shows up on my Instagram feed or my TikTok feed, because it usually has to do with positivity. And I'll be honest, this video came up on my feed and there was a minute inside of me that I was like, oh, no. And then I watched it all the way through and I was so pleasantly surprised. Here it is. It's from the Kindness Project OC on Instagram. And it's a video of a young man. Turns out his name is Jackson. Jackson is dressed up for Halloween and he's dressed up as a vampire. He does have a cape and it turns out he is a little bit of a hero. Jackson walks up to the candy dish at this particular home and looks in the candy dish and realizes there's no candy in it. And so he looks back at his mom and says there's no candy. And at that point I'm like, oh, please don't have a fit. Please don't have a fit. And this little boy reaches into his own bag of candy and puts a handful back in the bowl because he wants to make sure that there's candy for the next kiddo that comes up to that house. So I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good job, Jackson. You are a hero.
Yes. Super duper hero.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
That's
Anyway.
adorable.
Yeah.
I love
So,
that.
Thanks for the one-liners. Thanks for the laughs. That's great. We're going to get into a serious topic. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Right.
And as we were kind of talking about being inspired at the Women's Expo, I'd like to hold up a picture of what has inspired us for today's episode.
Yeah.
This is the magazine, I guess, maybe you could call it that, that we're going to be referencing. I think you and I know that we are not experts on breast cancer, but we also understand that it's a very serious topic, and the more people can do to get information out into the world, the better off we all are. So,
yeah, I just don't think that there is one person in this world that at some point somehow hasn't been impacted by this. I mean, we were just talking this morning that we have had 3 different caregivers in the 14 years we've been open that have had to battle cancer, breast cancer. And it was just shocking to watch them go through that. And not shocking in a bad way, because I know there's their stuff that emotionally and all that they had to deal with was really hard. But as an outsider watching them, I was just amazed at their strength. They continued to work.
Yep.
And their grace through it all. These women are superheroes. Speaking of superheroes, I really feel that they're superheroes, that they were able to still care for others when they probably needed the care themselves, but they just kept going and came back as stronger than ever.
Oh yeah. I hear that, and I echo those sentiments. These women have just been really inspirational in the way that they've handled it. And something that we'll talk about a little bit later when we get into this is how important your mental attitude is in a situation like this. And it's hard. Right. It's really, really hard. But keeping that optimism and the positivity to the best of your ability it helps in that recovery effort.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I just know that one of our caregivers was actually going through it when everybody was pretty much shut down. So I can't remember how many books she said she read during that time.
A lot.
Oh, it was so many, but she's back with us and just going great gangbusters.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, real quickly, this booklet was published by the Breast Cancer Awareness in Great Falls, and we will have on our show notes their contact information. So if anyone out there wants to find out more information or reach out to them, it will be available to you. It's a great resource. Obviously, we felt that way when we read through it and thought there are a lot of super important things that we can share with you. And again, we're not the experts, so we're going to rely on this and just share the information with you.
Oh yeah, there's just so many different things about it. The first thing is actually the symbol of any cancer is a ribbon, and each color designates a different type of cancer. But so the pink ribbon is for breast cancer, and I didn't know this, but Evelyn Lauder of the Estee Lauder Company is the one that introduced the pink ribbon as the official symbol for breast cancer awareness in the U.S. during National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in 1992.
Wow.
The pink color capitalizes on femininity and assumptions about women's emotionality, beauty, temperance, and nurturance. By association, the pink ribbon constructed breast cancer as non-threatening, blameless, and even virtuous. The pink ribbon set the stage for the strategic use of symbolism and mass media to influence public opinion about breast cancer. I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't know what the pink ribbon means.
That's what I was going to say, because like you said, that every cancer has a color, a ribbon color, but I think the pink is just so well known. I don't know that there's many people out there that don't know that the pink ribbon symbolizes breast cancer.
Yeah,
so
that's huge.
Yeah, it really is. So we wanted to talk about knowing some facts about breast cancer, right?
Right.
And I don't know if you out there are aware, but every 2 minutes, one woman is newly diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. Every 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's staggering.
It's
scary. every 13 minutes, a woman will lose her battle against breast cancer in the United States. But in 1980, the 5-year survival rate with early stage breast cancer was only 74%, and now it's 98%. So that early stage, if you can catch things at an early stage, it's just so critical to your survival.
Yep. They say that the earlier breast cancer is found, the easier it is to treat and receive a better prognosis. Mammograms, x-rays of the breast can detect tumors before they are large enough to feel. The American Cancer Society recommends yearly mammograms beginning at age 40 for women at average risk. I know that there's a little bit of controversy on that about how often you should have it. You know, it all depends on your family genetics and whatever your doctor thinks.
Sure.
And go from there.
But at least to use it as kind of a starting point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I need to get in for that.
No,
I know I'm only 29, but I should probably think about getting that scheduled.
Oh gosh, I'm past due as well, which isn't a surprise. But the one thing that I do find is that really, truly, after you've had the exam, it's like, well, that really wasn't that big of a deal. And it's really kind of more so just the anticipation of getting it done. And when you're in there and you're getting into your smock and all of that, you just have to stop and realize that this isn't going to be the first booby they've ever seen, right?
Right.
This is kind of
I see this booby every day.
Every single day there's
Julie?
that. A couple of boobs sitting here talking to each other.
Oh, goodness sakes.
But honestly, once you get past that and know that this is really for the technician that's doing the procedure, this is their job.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really not that bad. And you will survive. You may have a few minutes of being kind of uncomfortable, but it's also, a few minutes of that versus, your whole life
being turned upside down.
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of anxiety that goes along with any type of a doctor's appointment or exam or test or anything like that. But there's you just got to get in there and do it and fight through it. And I always find that when things get uncomfortable, if you can just, add some humor into that, maybe go back and reference one of Julie's one-liners.
I have some one-liners for you.
You can get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we going to pinky promise that after this show, we're both going to go up and make our appointments?
Let's do it.
Ugh. Okay. I didn't think you'd really take me up on it.
I know. I can't reach. Oh, that was probably pretty ugly. Sorry about that, everybody.
A little bit of grit and groaning.
Yep. Well, okay. So one of the things that is super important to recovery is keeping that positive mental attitude.
Yeah.
And that can be really difficult to do, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But they do say the best way to predict your future is to create it. And I think that when someone goes through this type of an illness, surrounding yourself with positive people and forcing yourself to try to see the bright side of things is going to be so important to your overall state of mind and your ability to try to fight through it.
Yeah, they're talking about the mind-body connection like you were, and just says that it's a well-known fact in the healthcare arena that the mind influences body's reaction to illness, and its resilience is based on healthy coping strategies and one's ability to fight off stress, thus building the body's immunity system against disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe in that, and not just in this topic, but everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how many times is one of us having maybe an off day or something, and then the other one of us makes a really off-color joke, and then all of a sudden you're laughing, and it just turns things around?
You did that to me just this morning. I was just shocked and appalled. I come walking in, and she looks at me. She goes, "Are you cranky?" And I go, "Yes." And she goes, "Well, are you going to get over it?"
Yeah.
Not 1 ounce of sympathy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask what was wrong. Just said, "Get it together, lady."
Jesus. This look, it must have been the look. I don't know, or the stomping of the foot or the slamming of the door. I don't know what the indicator was that I was cranky, but I did. I went and got myself a Tootsie Pop and felt all kinds of better.
Yep, it happens. That's advice from Grandma Jean. You get it together. You pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Nobody cares about whatever it is.
Nobody
that's making you
cared that
cranky.
I almost had a flat tire on the way. Thanks for asking.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But you got it resolved, kind of.
Kind of.
Okay.
On
Anyway,
Monday,
moving on.
7:15 a.m.
Eesh.
Yeah.
So breast cancer is actually the most commonly diagnosed cancer in women, and it's the second most likely after lung cancer to take the life.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not.
Yeah. So it's staggering. The numbers are staggering. So it is really important to get in there, get your mammogram, get your head on straight, surround yourself with people that are going to kick you in the butt if you can't do that on your own.
Right. No, get your village together.
Yep.
And really see how you can work together. So there are 7 factors that they say could affect your risk for breast cancer. And the first one is weight gain. And the American Cancer Society study found that women who gained 20 to 30 pounds after age 18 were 40% more likely to develop breast cancer after menopause than women who gained no more than 5 pounds. So that tissue, fat tissue converts precursors in the body into estrogen, keeping the hormone in circulation even when ovarian production stops at menopause.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, that leads us right into activity level. And basically, people can reduce their risk of getting breast cancer by 20 to 30% if they get 3 to 4 hours of weekly exercise from moderately intense, that would be like brisk walking, maybe yoga, to vigorous, which would be more like jogging or cross-country skiing, aerobic dance. So if you do those things 3 to 4 hours a week, you can help reduce your risk of getting breast cancer by 20 to 30%. So
I always wondered if my Farm Mama Fitness equates to any kind of exercise at all.
I feel like it has to.
It has to. But being in the office,
Mm-hmm.
you know, from 8 to 5 every day, and then going home and doing cows and all that, you know,
because
I just assume I'm getting my exercise that I need.
Well, you're moving nonstop,
Right.
and that's, I mean, it has to count for something.
Well, I always think about it.
Yeah.
Thinking, should I now take a walk? But then it's dark because winter is coming. And,
winter.
yes, yes.
Man.
So alcohol. Women who consume even a few drinks per week have an increased risk for breast cancer. It's not known exactly why. Alcohol can raise estrogen levels, an important player in the development of breast cancer. It can interact with carcinogens or inhibit the body's capacity to detoxify them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
got to watch the intake of that.
Yep. Vitamin D. There is mounting evidence that vitamin D helps to protect against several types of cancer, including breast cancer. For example, one study found that women who got plenty of vitamin D early in life had a lower risk for breast cancer. Another investigation linked high blood levels of vitamin D with a 50% reduction in risk for breast cancer.
I've been hearing more and more about vitamin D.
Well, and we get a little bit here in the valley in the fall and winter time. We don't get as much natural sunlight to get that natural vitamin D. So sometimes taking a supplement is really important.
Yeah, I've started to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just for all of the cooties that have been going around, zinc and vitamin D.
That seems to be a good
see.
good helper.
We'll see.
Yep,
And
you'll have to report
and a good
back to
attitude.
us. Yep. Zinc, vitamin D, and a nice swift kick in the rump.
That's why I have INGA around.
Right into a good attitude. Okay, so there are medical risks that can pose as risk factors. Lifetime exposure to estrogen is a risk factor for breast cancer. So, I mean, that could be because of an oral contraceptive or post-menopausal hormone therapy. The Women's Health Initiative trial showed that long-term use of combined hormone therapy, estrogen and progestin, slightly increases breast cancer risk, although the level of risk drops back to normal 5 years after stopping the hormones. Estrogen therapy alone does not seem to increase the risk. Interesting to know.
Yeah, yeah. Breast density is, breasts are regarded as dense if they have less fat and more connective and glandular tissue. These features are more common in younger women's breasts, but they are also found in many older women, especially those taking the combined hormone therapy. So
interesting.
Once again, there's no cookie cutter here.
Nope, not at all.
There's no rhyme. There's no reason. I do know that, like within the family, because they always ask you your family, you know, what has happened, history, all that. Great grandma Bailey had breast cancer, and I was a really little girl when we would go and visit her. And the one thing I do remember about her is, and this is back in the day, because I'm 29 as well.
Yes.
But way back when, you know, they just took it off. And she was a rather robust gal, and so she was quite lopsided.
Oh.
Yep.
So they just surgeried it off.
They just took it off, and that's how they dealt with it back then.
Right.
But that really I don't know how old she was when all that came about. But
and did that fix the problem? I mean, did she recover from it?
I think for some time she did, and I don't know, and I don't remember why she actually, you know, her diagnosis of actual death was, or what age. But I just remember being a little kid and seeing grandma and just remembering that one thing about her.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a lot different now. You know, they don't do that. They've tried to make the person more whole nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advances.
Yeah.
In medicine.
You bet.
So back to the mammogram.
Yeah. Speaking of.
Yeah. Turns out there are actually a couple different types, right? So there is the digital mammogram, and it's different from a conventional mammogram because the image is stored electronically on a computer instead of on a film. This improved technology allows the radiologist to manipulate the images of your breast so that he can explore suspicious areas more closely. Also, images can be sent electronically to another radiologist for consultation.
That's good. The 3D mammogram is an advanced type of mammogram offering clearer images of the breast tissue. This has been shown to improve breast cancer detection rates and decreases need for additional images and or biopsies in some women. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's ultrasound. And so the ultrasound or sonogram uses sound waves to make an image of the breast on the computer screen. A special transmitting gel will be applied, and the technician will then move a probe over the surface to get the desired views. No discomfort is involved, except the gel is kind of cold.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
No.
There's a cute little quote on here that says, "She stood in the storm, and when the wind did not blow her way, she adjusted her sails."
Oh,
that's awesome.
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about biopsies. I don't really want to talk about that, do you?
Yeah, there's just a lot of different ways that you can be biopsied. So
yeah, and a lot of ways now that they're doing things non-invasive versus invasive. And then they talk about surgery and mastectomies. There's just so much information out there, you guys. Everybody can just Google it, talk to your doctor. There's just, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So then there are the stages and the grades of breast cancer.
Yep.
And I've always heard, it's stage 3 breast cancer. It's stage 1. It's, so this actually talks through what that all means.
Yeah. And this is going to be good because I've always had to stop and say, what does that mean?
Right.
Where are we with this disease, and can we get on top of it?
Yep, absolutely. So the stage is going to be based on the following factors. That's the size of the tumor within the breast, the number of lymph nodes affected, and signs indicating whether or not the breast cancer has invaded other organs within the body. Okay. So your stage 1 breast cancer. In stage 1, the tumor measures up to 2 centimeters and no lymph nodes are involved, or there is only microscopic disease in the nodes. Your stage 2, which is considered invasive breast cancer, the tumor measures between 2 to 5 centimeters, and or the cancer has spread to the lymph nodes under the arm or on the same side as the breast cancer. Stage 3, this is called locally advanced. The tumor is in the breast is more than 5 centimeters in diameter across, and the cancer is extensive in the underarm lymph nodes or has spread to the lymph nodes or tissue near the breast. Stage 4, this is what they call metastatic breast cancer. The cancer has spread beyond the breast, underarm, and internal mammary lymph nodes and other parts of the body near to or distant from the breast, including bone, brain, liver, and lungs. So those are your stages. There's also recurrent breast cancer. This is where the disease has returned in spite of the initial treatment. Yeah. Anything? Oh, a grade. You want to go through grades?
Yeah. So the grade is a score that tells you how different the cancer cells' appearance and growth patterns are from those of normal, healthy breast cells. Your pathology report will rate the cancer on a scale from 1 to 3. So a grade 1 or low grade cancer looks a little bit different from normal cells, and they grow in a slow, well-organized pattern. Not that many cells are divided or making new cancer cells. When you jump up to grade 2 or intermediate moderate grade, these cells do not look like normal cells and are growing and dividing a little faster than normal. When you get to the grade 3 or the high grade, the cells are looking very different from normal cells. They grow quickly in disorganized, irregular patterns, and with many dividing to make new cancer cells. Having a low-grade cancer is an encouraging sign, but keep in mind that higher-grade cancers may be more vulnerable than low-grade cancers to treatment, such as chemotherapy and radiation therapy, which work by targeting fast-dividing cells. So honestly, I think the thing that I'm learning the most from this today is if you get this diagnosis, just breathe. Just breathe. You need to be able to stop, educate yourself. And it doesn't sound like, once again, that cookie cutter. We talked about that. But even with these stages and grades, just because you have a high number or a high grade doesn't mean that they still can't get on top of it.
Absolutely.
And get you the care and the treatments that you need. Yeah. I just love this. This is another one of those little sayings, never be ashamed of a scar. It simply means you are stronger than whatever tried to hurt you.
I love that so much.
Yeah. So very good.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now on to the thing that it's not my favorite thing. It's the healthy diet.
Oh no.
It hurts. We were talking about lunch before we started this. It's going to be salad of some sort. We're trying.
Yeah, we are. We're trying to be good.
Patients can reduce their cancer risk by taking preventative measures and following general dietary guidelines for cancer prevention. And some of those include eating a variety of healthful foods with an emphasis on plant sources of protein. That also choosing 5 or more servings of fruits and veggies, especially the yellow and dark green leafy sources, Julie's favorite. Choosing whole grains and other high fiber foods. Limiting red meat and whole egg consumption. That one hurts a lot.
You know, you're talking to a rancher here.
I know. Beef,
And
it's what's for dinner.
I know. And my mother actually went to a new doctor just recently. And he was talking to her about limiting her protein intake and that maybe she better be talking about some plant-based. And she just was like, whoa.
Time out, sir.
Cheryl is not having any of it.
That's where the conversation ended.
Yeah. She's like, you don't talk to a rancher that way.
Right. Well, at least it says limit, not eliminate.
Yes, right.
That's good.
Oh.
You also want to decrease your intake of unhealthy and saturated fat, trans fat. Replace those things with mono unsaturated fats, which would be like olive and nuts, and also polyunsaturated fats. That would be like what you find in fish, corn, soy, things that aren't as fun as the regular fat things.
No.
What else do they say here? Oh, omega-3 fatty acids. You hear that a lot, and that's going to be like your fishes, salmon, mackerel. Those things can help to reduce cancer risk. They also say that baking or broiling foods and choosing low-fat milk and dairy products is a helpful way. Again, being active, exercising. This one says at least 5 times a week for 30 minutes or more, but I think as much as you can do. Every little bit helps.
Yep.
Try to maintain a healthy weight throughout your life. Balance your calorie intake with physical activity. And also, again, the alcohol thing. It's for men limiting to, 2 drinks, or for women more like one alcoholic drink. If you can limit to that, that's going to help you out a lot.
Right. That's
They also say like things about your diet if you are going through cancer treatment. Because I think I've heard that sometimes it really offsets or upsets your food intake.
Mm-hmm.
Like your body's really mad about it and really angry. So they say that you can try small, frequent meals instead of doing like 2 or 3 large meals. Just eat smaller ones more frequently. You can keep ready to serve or easy to prepare foods available so that you can, so they're ready for you. If you have the feeling like I want to eat right now, something is there and you can grab it. That would be things like pudding, peanut butter, tuna, cereal bars, trail mix, cheese and crackers, eggs, those types of things. The other thing, and this is huge, and it's not just for breast cancer, let your friends and family help you with meal preparation.
Yep.
I love giving people food, feeding. That is like my favorite thing to do. So if you're sick and I ask to bring you food, I really hope that you're going to say yes. So let your family and your friends help you with that.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Try to have frozen foods on hand. Keep your liquid supplements in the refrigerator so that they're right there and ready to drink. Basically, if you have lost weight or you're trying to prevent further weight loss, you can increase your calorie content by using milk instead of water for like soups and cooked cereals, by adding butter, salad dressing, and oils to your vegetables, or adding extra protein to your soups by slicing cooked egg white into the soup. One thing that they also say is if that meal preparation or food preparation is making you feel nauseated, stay out of the kitchen or try to stay away from the smell as the food is being prepared, because you don't want to get a smell of it as it's being prepared, and then all of a sudden you have a stomach ache or you're feeling nauseated and then you don't want to eat. So just little things. And let's see, taking small portions on your plate and going back for second helpings. And then they do say that pain medication should be taken approximately a half an hour before your mealtime to minimize the interference with your food intake. So
all of those words of wisdom actually apply to everything. Like
they
you
really
said,
do.
Anything that you're going through, just, ask for help and just keep eating though. It's very important that you keep those calories going and that you keep up your strength.
If you find something that you like and that doesn't upset your stomach, just remember that and have it on hand for you in the times that you are feeling like you want to have a meal.
Right. Right.
Ooh, I think that kind of wraps it up. Again, I just want to say, that this booklet was published by the Breast Cancer Awareness in Great Falls, Montana. And again, we'll have that, their contact information on our show notes so that if anyone wants to reach out to them, it's been a tremendous resource for us. We're so happy that we actually ran into a nice lady at the Women's Expo and got to talking about this. And it just seemed like a really appropriate time to bring up this topic, being that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh yeah. This is a beautiful handout. It's full color. It's glossy. It catches your eye, and it's full of incredible information. So they did an incredible job on that.
Yeah, they really did. Well, I guess it's time to move into our grandma sayings. And you had one from Irma Bombeck.
Yes, Irma Bombeck. She said, "A grandmother pretends she doesn't know who you are on Halloween."
Truth.
And it's so funny that I picked that, and you were talking about your good news story was about Halloween too.
Yes, that's awesome. Good job, Irma Bombeck.
Yeah, wasn't that pretty cute?
That is very cute. I guess that's it. I guess it's time to wrap it up for the day. And we do ask you to subscribe. You can do that on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. You can go and watch us on YouTube, leave us a review, share us with a friend. You can also check out our fun videos on TikTok and also Instagram. And go look us up. Find us on Facebook. Join our Karen Share, Ipaga Karen Share group, and join the discussion with us.
And just like Inga and I pinky promised, we expect you all to go and get your mammogram scheduled as well.
Yes, I know there are a lot of you out there that are still only 29, but it's now or never, ladies. Get out there and get it done.
It's for the best. It really is. I'm not looking forward to it, but
I'm not either.
You guys are all my witness that Inga and I are going to go do that.
Yes, we'll report back to you as soon as we get that done.
You bet.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Have a good day.